What's going on, everyone? We are the developers of our own opportunities, reinforcing success. And today, let's open up some doors. Nick, so what are we talking about today, bro?
All right, so we were thinking about our topics coming up for some of our episodes, and of course, it's not going to be one of the longer episodes; it's going to be a shorter one. We're going to try to bring you this information as fast as we can, and so you guys can get some value out of it. But we were thinking about some of the things, and we're like, you know what? We listened to people like Gary Vee, we listened to people like Matthew McConaughey, and a couple other people as well that talk about a lot about that. The people that you surround yourself with are what ultimately help guide you in the right direction for what you're doing.
Yes, sir.
So, do you know, like, what would you call that? We came up with our own term. And guess what it is? Zach, tell them.
So this term has been a coin term that Nicholas and I came up with. And if you really think about it, like, you got to think about it very deeply. But our synonym that we've came up for atmosphere and environment is actually going to be the hidden atmosphere, because we believe that you actually contain a hidden atmosphere in your own life. So Nick, what is the hidden atmosphere?
Basically, the energy that surrounds you. So the individuals that you surround yourself with, I've had this as well, but the individuals that you surround yourself with ultimately help or hinder the process of you basically succeeding or failing or moving on in any aspect of your life. And I was watching Matthew McConaughey's commencement speech at the University of Houston 2015 a couple days ago. And he talked about this in an interesting way. He said, don't leave crumbs. And by that, he really meant that, so there's aspects of your lives that help you move forward. There's also aspects of things that you shouldn't be doing. I shouldn't be using a Juul. I know it's harmful to me. I know other people have different things. Like people shouldn't play video games as often as they should. You have aspects of your life where you leave little crumbs of things.
Yeah.
Basically don't allow you to spend more time on the things that you need to be doing. And this happens with people that you're around as well. If you have a friend that definitely isn't the best for you, that they're doing something that is a hindrance to you, whether it be drugs, alcohol, bad habits, mentality, all these things are leaving crumbs in your own life that don't allow you to move forward with the things that you should be doing. Mm-hmm. And that's the hidden atmosphere.
And guys, I really hope you're listening to what Nicholas is saying, because there's times where we're going to have things that no longer serve us in our lives, whether it be an addiction, whether it be a person. And to really become aware of this hidden atmosphere around you, you can find out so much about yourself. And sometimes it's not pretty. When you open up that door and you peek in, sometimes it's not going to be pretty, guys. You're not going to like what's on the other side of that door. I promise. Once you get in there and you figure out exactly what you need to figure out, and you cut what you need to cut out of your life, the people you need are going to start flowing in. The teachers you need are going to start flowing in. The financial abundance you're going to need is going to start flowing in.
It's an awareness.
Yeah, it's an awareness. But man, so why do you think people leave these crumbs? Like, do you think it's just something that we're programmed to do?
Ready? Look at this. Got this good on the front, right? It's a great representation of something too. But guess what? On the back, evil. Listen, everyone in their own lives has this good and this balance of good and evil. It's not like everyone can be this saint or everyone's going to be the sinner. There's a little bit in everyone. But it's whether you put your attention towards something. A great example of this, again, was in Matthew McConaughey's 2015 commencement speech at the University of Houston. He talked about the first step to knowing yourself. It isn't defining who you are. It's defining who you're not.
Yeah. Wow.
And what he does is that you sit there and you go through these circumstances, again, leaving these crumbs, finding out these people that you're around or the environment you're in, and you realize, you look over at someone and they're doing something, you're like, what the fuck is he doing? Or what the fuck is she doing? Like, that's definitely, I don't want that type of habit or that type of lifestyle. And you realize that, and look, you just cross something off your list. That's something you're not. And the more if you go down the line, you start doing these and checking these little things off, and you make this list of things that you're not, you're that much closer to realizing who you are. And that's the same thing with your environment. When you realize the people that surround you, or the environment you're in, the things you're doing, don't support your habits that you want, or don't support your goals, your dreams, the things that you want to be moving on.
Yeah.
You actually have that awareness that we're just talking about. You're actually taking that step forward. You're finding out, you're aware of this hidden atmosphere, this energy that surrounds you. You're like, you push that negative energy out, or you push that mentality, those vibes in a direction where people are like, where it actually moves you in a direction to be more successful.
Yeah. Earl Nightingale says, man, you are the sum of the people you spend the most time with. If that's addicts and addictions, and that's the people you have in your life, that's the type of energy that you're going to actually consume into yourself. And you need to realize that too. It's also the same thing with money and joy and happiness. Like if you surround yourself with people, like Nicholas and myself, and I know a bunch of people who spread love, joy, and happiness everywhere they go.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to bring back into your life. If you're someone who you believe in money and you believe in prosperity and you give back to prosperity, you're going to be prosperous. It's things like that you really have to understand, that you are what you surround yourself with. And
hands down,
with our standards, man, like your environment and your standards will get you so far in life, so far. But you do have to be able to sit there and dial back and ask yourself, like we talked about in our first couple of podcasts, having that no list. These are the things that I refuse to ever be known for.
Yeah.
I will not be known for these things.
Yeah.
What I do want to be known for is my work ethic, my drive, my sophistication, the enthusiasm, the joy, the happiness, the love.
Unrelenting forcing of moving forward.
Yes, man. That fucking that will to conquer that you and I talk about, that's just, it's just so great that that you have this purpose to keep grinding in, And I feel like everyone has that deep inside. It's just bringing it out of you.
And that's what's so interesting. I mean, a lot of people talk about this. If you ever listen to Gary Vee on Instagram or any of his YouTube videos, he continually says, if someone does not have the same mentality or is bringing you down in any way, fuck them.
Yeah.
Push them out of your life. It doesn't matter if it's your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, your grandparents. It doesn't matter how close they are to you. If you're trying to move on your dreams and these people are hindering you, and you have this mindset, fuck them.
And that's what the hidden atmosphere is all about, because it's using this internal awareness, using this internal dialogue to sophisticate yourself with the right type of environment, the right type of people.
Yeah.
And you got to understand that all of that is going to affect who you become, the things that you can accomplish. It's a split second decision between, becoming a fucking rock star and living, a sedentary life where you can't do anything.
Yeah.
It's those split decisions and those people that we surround ourselves with.
Yeah.
People get content, man. And I know you do too. And everyone listening out here, if you're one of those people that you feel that you're content at this point in time, try to find someone positive to look up for, a role model, or just maybe a group of friends that influence you or push you to do better, because ultimately those are the people that we want to surround ourselves with.
Yeah, completely. I think there was this, I was trying to look it up real quick, but where did it go? Here we go. I was trying to look it up real quick, but a really good example of this, I mean, I really wanted to jump into some of the things that really affected this in my life too, because I mean, Nat talked about it on our last podcast too, before I jump into my own stories, is that he talked about the 33% rule. Is you have 33% of people that you definitely know they don't have the same mentality as you, but you work with them so you can build them up to become better individuals. 33% of the individuals that are like mindset, and that so they can move forward on those things. You have 33% of the people that are, again, way far ahead of you, whether that be in decades, ages, whatever it is, so that they can mentor you in those things. And I think that's something that I'm really going to start applying in my life, because Matt brought it up. It's great.
Yeah.
But what I've come to realize as I've gotten older, as I've gone through relationships and been aware of my own situations and different things, is that kindness can only go so far. It could go so far. People abuse the fuck out of it. And you have to understand who you are or at least partly of who you are, because that's a journey you're going to be taking for your entire life. But in my sake is that I would give, and I would never expect anything. But I finally realized that a lot of people in my life were just using me for the things that I had, whether it be monetary value, whether it be just knowing that I do things for them, or even being there for them.
Yeah.
And that's a really hard thing to realize, because again, that's your hidden atmosphere. That's the energy that you bring into your life.
It's hard to accept those things too, man. Like,
Yeah.
Like, especially you've been with someone for so long, and you realize that man, maybe this just isn't good for me. Like, I'm not the same person I was. I'm not motivated anymore. I'm not hungry. I'm not driven like I was.
No.
And you sit back and you think, and it's just like, it's the things that I've been doing. It's the people I have around me. Like, I'm becoming complacent in my own life. And the minute you become complacent in your own life and you lose the ability to be hungry, and The Rock is a person I admire the most. And I know a lot of
right.
And he gave this speech to, it was a professional sports team, and I can't remember which, but he talked about having his back up against the fucking wall. And he said that I go to work every day thinking that I'm broke, that I have $7 in my pocket, that I have no money, I have no food, and that my fucking back is up against that wall, because when I know that my back is up against the wall, I stay fucking hungry.
You always gotta be prepared and understand that even if you're not the underdog, you gotta fight like you're the underdog.
Yeah, man.
Always. I was in Matthew McConaughey's 2015 commencement speech again. One of the things I was thinking about, though, I mean, number one, just because I don't talk to you anymore or don't hang out with you anymore doesn't mean I don't fuck with you. This means I'm moving on to doing my own thing. It means my energy needs to be doing something else and be around these individuals, and I've had to deal with that. I mean, a great example of this as well is that you get a lot of traits, a lot of habits, and a lot of mentalities from your family, from your parents. And I can definitely say that too. I get an unending relentlessness to try to look after others, try to feel for others from my dad. And it's come back to bite me in the ass. I've seen it bite him in the ass so many times, and it's come back to bite me in the ass. But that doesn't define me. Yep. And you can get past those habits too. But again, just like we said, this hidden atmosphere surrounds you. The environment you are in sets your mentality, and it doesn't mean it can't change. It just takes effort. I mean, I was taught this in gymnastics consistently, is that, and Koei Uchimura talks about this too, is that if for every good skill you do, or every bad skill you do, it takes 100 good ones to get past that habit. And imagine how many times you've done, like, not washing the dishes or taking the trash out, doing these different things. You have to build this habit up. They talk in the book that I'm reading right now by Dr. Joe Dispenza. He talks about this woman that went through this really, really hard, big hardship. She had cancer, she had ulcers, all these different things. But she had to mentally train herself through habit and to get over something. And it took her a long, long time. I don't want to go into it because I don't want to ruin it for anyone. But you have the power of it's, again, if you have this mindset of trying to be successful, the things that are around you, they help change you. But you have to be on this path and know that some things, again, don't need to be in my life. Some things I don't need to fuck with. And you got to keep on walking on that way, on that path to success, that journey of 1,000 miles that starts with
one single step, Bubba. Single
fucking step.
And you guys, I know you're out there listening right now, and you're probably thinking, like, how do I become aware of this hidden atmosphere? So Nick, what would you tell people if they're like, if they came to you and they asked you, like, how do I start becoming aware of what's going on around me? Like, you guys talk about all the time, like, environment is key and environment is everything. And there's this hidden atmosphere. How do I become aware of it?
Well, I think we talked about it in our SMART goals and a lot of other podcasts as well. If you write down the things that you have, your goals, I have my goal cards sitting on top of my computer right now. And you write down the things that you need to be thinking about, which I have on my computer right now.
Yeah.
And you think about the actual circumstances you're in, and you sit there and you start actually being aware of what you're doing throughout your day, what you're spending your time on, and you're writing down these things and understand, and you're fully immersed in that moment, you'll actually realize, wow, did I really need to go out to the bar tonight to do this when I should have been doing this? When really my time would need to be allotted to this. It's, you sit there and realize the circumstances you're in and the actual things that you're putting your time into. And then you finally realize, I don't want that in my life. I don't need to put as much time into this in my life. Yeah. And you can start making moves on that. I mean, I do it like I hate spending money. I mean, it's something, there's multiple things like that too. But if you focus on these key aspects and you start realizing that someone's bringing my attitudes out, or my buddy Blake Reidner that we hopefully will have on the show sometime soon. Yes. He's about to become he's working with music now, which is awesome. He's about to be a DJ or start releasing music, which is really, really cool. And especially after he's been a videographer for so long. But he posted on Twitter the other day that some people were telling him that he couldn't do it.
Yep.
Why the hell would you let, number one, there are two parts to this. Number one, why the hell would you let someone in your circle that tells you can't do something? Boy, if I have someone in my circle that ain't building me up or trying to push me towards success, nah, bitch, you're out of here. I don't want you in my life.
Open the door, guys.
Listen, I'm opening that door and throwing their ass out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Number two.
That's what you have to do. And before Nicholas goes on to number two, like, you guys, we're not just talking about, like, just go and say, all right, well, fuck you, like, get the fuck out. No, don't think that you can't change your environment as well. But you have to realize that some people aren't going to see your vision. Some people aren't going to be able to realize the journey that you're on. Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was someone that we talked about in our podcast. Ignore the naysayers. I'm going to let Nicholas get back to number two, but keep that in mind as he goes through.
Exactly. Great. Number two, let the haters be the motivators. Exactly. Like, I for one love being hated on. I love being the underdog. I love proving people wrong. And I told him, I said, we ain't that type of breed. We weren't born like that. Yeah, let's show them what we can do. Yep. Like, when people tell you can't do something, use that as your fire.
Yeah.
Push. Number one, they don't need to know they don't need to know the steps you're taking. They don't need to know anything like that. They just know you're starting at this point and show where you can go.
Damn right.
Again, all these mentalities, these energies you have around you end up seeping into. I don't know whether you believe in spirituality, Christianity, whatever. I believe that your emotions can seep out of you as an energy. And like, if someone's sad in the room, you know it. If someone's staring at you, you know it. When people have these bad vibes around you or doing these negative things, it's going to pull you in that direction. And you have to have your will, your consciousness stronger than that, moving in the direction that you're supposed to be going, or at least trying to. Sometimes you won't know what the path is. But again, we talked about it the other day I talked about it in my Tuesday Talks with Nick. It was with Jim Carrey, and he talked about that you're not always going to know where you're going. But if you open up the door in your mind and you just let life happen, when that door opens in real life, all you got to do is walk through.
There you go, man. There you go. And for everyone listening out there, it's taking that opportunity and making the most of it. Just because the door opens doesn't mean you're going to walk through it.
Exactly.
Make the most out of that opportunity, bro. And it's what Nick just said. It's having that vision, having that opportunity, but it's also walking your ass through the damn door. And I want to leave you guys with a quote that I had today, and I love it. And it states, our environment, the world in which we live and work, is a mirror of our attitudes and expectations. I've said this before. Our environment, the world in which we live and work, is a mirror of our attitudes and expectations.
I'm looking at the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. No message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make that change. Oh, I'm a horrible singer. I hope you guys enjoyed that. But guys, again, we're leaving you with this, is that basically you have to be fully immersed and aware of the things that are going on in your life to make this happen, and be aware of this invisible atmosphere that's around you. But then you can start pushing away the things that don't need your time, pushing away the people. But again, it's not that I don't care about you anymore or anything that. I'm just moving forward. You have to realize that you have to be selfish in your own ways to take these steps forward and move on your success.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. And guys, thank you again for tuning in to another episode of Doors. This is episode 12. It's fucking wild. Go like us on Facebook at let's.open.doors. Follow us on Instagram. I'm Nicholas Sternloff. This is Zachary Otts. And my friends, we're the developers of our own opportunities, reinforcing success. Let's open that motherfucking door. Have a good night. Good day. Whatever, bitch.